Councilperson Keegley is meeting remotely today. The first item of business, Terry Suval.
Yes, I just wanted to indicate that obviously, as you're all aware, our board chair has resigned. And under UPD board policy, the vice chair automatically becomes the board chair and serves out the remainder of the term of the board chair and the position as chair. So we have a couple of items. First of all, obviously, welcome our new UPD board chair and thank you for being willing to serve in that role. And second, just wanted to thank Mayor Stevenson for his service to UPD over the years. And so welcome, Mr. Chair. You've got this role at least through January.
Thank you. We also like to welcome our new Midvale representative, Paul Glover, this morning. And as I understand, you'll serve the remainder of this year of Marcus's term. And
that's not correct. Have a special council meeting on 10th December and forgot that. Start again. We will have a special council meeting on the 10th of December and where we will choose a new mayor that night.
Thank you.
I'll be there till then.
Thank you for being here. Harry, do we need to have an election?
Yes, because there's now a vacancy in the vice chair position, we would ask for an election of a new vice chair to serve in that role should you become unavailable at a meeting, so we know who the chair would be. It would also be for the through just this month and next month because the board will be electing new officers in January.
Thank you. Anybody that would like to volunteer for that role?
I just said I will do it if nobody else wants to do it, but there's others that haven't had a turn, so whatever.
I like that.
Someone nominate Mayor Silvestrini as vice chair.
Second. I have a motion, a second. Any discussion?
That was too quick.
All in favor, say aye.
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 That's unanimous. Thank you. Next, we have an update from Chief Jason Mazrin.
Does this work? It's working this time. Great. Wonderful. Good morning, Chair and board members. It's good to see you. First off, I want to welcome Councilman Glover. It's good to have you back. I know you've been on the board before, so we appreciate you willing to serve in that way. And thanks, Councilman Brems, for stepping up and helping in this important endeavor. A couple quick things. First, as you'll remember, last month we had a retirement of Canine Nitro. I just wanted to give you a heads up that unfortunately Canine Nitro in his older age suffered an injury and has passed away. We had to put him down. So he made it right to the day of his retirement. We had to do that. So it was unfortunate. It's a great dog. Did a lot of great things for this department. But I am happy to say that we got a new dog, Canine Odin, that Officer Schmidt's now running, and he's a young dog. I've seen pictures, but I haven't seen him yet. But I hear he is big and strong and really smart. But didn't you say you can't catch balls or sticks or anything yet? So he's smart, but maybe he's not coordinated yet. I don't know, but
there are other things we'd rather have him catch.
That's right. As long as he catch people, that's all we care about. But he shows a lot of promise. So we're happy to have him as a new member of our team. The next thing is here in the next really 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be having a number of our Christmas events. As you know, every year we typically around Christmas we have our shift bid where the precincts come together and they pick their new shift for the upcoming year. And along with that, we do a Christmas celebration. All of your precincts will be doing that. If your precinct chiefs or division chiefs haven't reached out to you already, they will be to invite you to those. You're more than welcome to attend. We'd love to be able to see if your schedule allows for it and you're able to make it. You're always welcome to come to those events and meet with the officers. And I know many of you have been to those before. So I wanted to let you know those are on various days. Watch for those invitations. Along with that, we have our annual Shop with the Shield, or our Christmas charity event, where we raise money throughout the year through various mechanisms to take kids shopping. We've got a pretty big group. How many was it, Dwayne? 42 families or 49? 42 and 164 kids. Big group this year. So that'll be at the Midvale Walmart on December 14th at 7 a.m. You're all, as always, absolutely invited to go to that. And if you want to come, feel free to bring a guest, family members, anybody you want to bring to come and see that and how that works. And we'll certainly wrap you right into it. And it's a very casual, a lot of fun, a lot of neat stories come out of that event. So that is on December 14th, 7 a.m. at the Midvale Walmart. So I want to make sure you were aware of that. The next thing that I think is important, obviously, are hiring and recruitment. I've talked to a lot of you about that. I've been out to your council meetings and talked to you, which, by the way, thanks for being so inviting to those. It's been really productive to get out and meet with your mayors, your council members, and have those conversations. I've really enjoyed it. I had a really nice meeting in Copperton last night, and so we appreciate the hospitality. But along with that, I've talked to you about the recruiting, where we're at. So Mark's going to give you a quick update on that. It's going really well. And I'll just turn that over to him.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Well, that's loud. Recruiting is going well. We're in a pretty good spot. We continue to hire at a pace that's outstripping our attrition. And so as of today, I just want to give you kind of a snapshot of where we are. You can see on here, Holiday is down 1, Mill Creek is down 5, Midvale's down 4, Kearns is down 4, Magna's down 1, and Investigations is down 2. Professional Standards is down 1 lieutenant, for a total of 18 vacancies. So I wanted to bring to your attention, I did add this line to this spreadsheet. It's percentages of total. So you can get a sense of what your percentage of your precinct looks like. So that's what the green line is there, that I've added. And then I also added an overall percentage of total for the department and the grand total line there. So department-wide, we're down 6.92% of our staffing. The good news is we have a lot of people in the pipeline still. Sergeant Dawson is here with us today. She's killing it. Her and her teams of board members that are doing backgrounds and oral interviews, and they're putting in a lot of work to get that done, and we certainly appreciate that. So as of today, we have 14 candidates that have signed up for the PT test in December. We have 4 candidates that are in entry-level candidates that are in oral boards. And we have 14 that are in background, entry levels that are in background process. That's really good news for our department, because those entry-level folks are kind of where we need to focus going forward. And we're happy to see that our applications for those folks have ticked up over recent months. So that's good news. For our lateral candidates, we don't have any new candidates that have applied in November, but we do have 7 of those that are currently in the background process. They're actually doing interviews upstairs right now with some of those folks. And we're hoping to get 4 more of those hired for our December 19th hire, which would give us a total of 10 laterals and LEOs that will be onboarding on December 19th, if we can get all 4 of those. We already have 6 solidified. There's just those 4 that are still in the process. In addition to that, we've hired 7 entry-level folks for the academy in December. And those folks are not reflected in the total numbers up here. We haven't encumbered them yet because they don't start until February. But if you factor that in, we're actually down 8 between all of those laterals and LEOs that we're looking to onboard in December and the folks that we're going to start in February. We do expect some attrition between now and then, so that number will fluctuate a little bit, but the overall picture is looking very good. I'm super happy with it. That's pretty much the update on staffing. Oh, let me just back up, sorry. We did add 1 civilian position here. That's the licensed clinical social worker for Mill Creek and Holiday. Will be splitting that cost, 1/3 to Holiday and 2/3 to Mill Creek. They've done the posting for that. We had 10 applicants that applied, and they'll be doing interviews for that on Monday. So we'll get that filled. We do still have a radio shop manager that we're looking to recruit. Chief Andrew Weirden is working on the posting for that. We'll get that done. And then we have the 2 forensics techs that are just running vacant currently. We don't have an active recruitment for those. They're just running vacant. So that's what's happening on the civilian side of the house. Are there any questions with any of that?
Chief, just
Yeah.
to clarify, well, one, just kudos to you and your staff for the work you've done from August to this point to get us in a better position. And I'm assuming based on what you said, the laterals typically are anywhere from a month to a couple months to get on board as opposed to maybe 9 or 10 if they have to go through post. So I'm assuming, depending on how those interviews go, that by end of January, February, we may actually be in really good shape with some new hires that would come on board, next year, September, October, whatever. So
Yeah, so those laterals that we're working with now, that's a December 19th hire. So there's some LEOs in there that have their certification but no experience. And then there's some laterals. And so the laterals will be a lot quicker. They need, a few weeks of field training. They already know how to be a police officer. They just have to get acclimated to UPD's way of doing business. The LEOs are going to need the full field training experience, which is 14 weeks. So, but by, February, March of next year, all of those folks should be assigned and out working. And so I'm super thrilled with that. I'm really happy about it. I'm a little concerned that we didn't see any new applicants this month so far, but we'll continue to work on that. And our lateral recruitment bonus has expired. As you know, it expired October 31st. And so we have not renewed that. And then maybe that's something we need to look at going forward. We'll see how the rest of this month plays out, and then I'll bring that back to you next month, and we'll see where we're at. No, so I've got that outlined over here. So we've hired 3 for sure that are eligible for that, and then there are those 7 that are still in the process that would be eligible if they're hired. Okay. So. Yeah. It's about 10 months total time between date of hire, post academy, field training, pre-service, and then actually out working. It's quite the process. We are, with these numbers, we're hoping to eliminate that in January. We'll be messaging that to the membership. Obviously, things are in flux every month, and so we don't want to commit to that fully yet, but things are looking very good, and we should be able to eliminate the mandatory overtime in January. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks to our HR folks again. And I think the best analogy I heard the other day is that with this hiring, it's like a wave. And you watch a wave and it builds and then it crashes. And we're in that building piece because of the delay in that pipeline. I don't want to call it delay, but because of that natural requirement of time. once we see that wave crash, that's when you'll see all those positions, full, people on the street. So it just takes some time for that surge to happen. So, but again, it's going really well. So, yes, sir. Yeah.
Pull out of one precinct who might be close to fully staffed.
Can you turn your mic on, please? Sorry.
At what point do we pull from another precinct to help a city that might be down 10% of their officers till we can bridge that gap through new hires?
Yeah, and when we have to transfer, we have to move somebody, we're looking at those and we're factoring in, how many are here. When we have people come out, we look at that. We're constantly kind of gauging that, who has the greatest need. But it's really kind of on a case by case basis, but we are sensitive to who's down the most in terms of the and we're really putting emphasis right now on the patrol precincts.
And that hasn't remained static either, because I know that for a while, Midvale was down the most. And so I think you're just doing what you can to
Yeah.
solve all of it. With these new people coming on, it should mitigate that. So.
Yeah, it'll tick up and down, but as we get more people through the pipeline, we'll be able to fill in those gaps in a much bigger way.
And the mandatory staffing is department-wide, not precinct specific.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for me? Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Last Thursday, we had a benefits and compensation meeting here, and we'll have a discussion about that meeting.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen again. I have another fabulous spreadsheet. I know you love these. This actually went out in your board packet. So you should have a physical copy of that. I've been working on a wage study for the sworn side of the house since about July. It's quite the process to get these numbers. And you'll see as we move through this sheet that the further up in rank we go, the harder it is to get the information. Not all departments want to share that for obvious reasons. We're all competing with each other and they don't like that competition. So for the entry level and maximum police officer rates, you can see there in the yellow line on this sheet, UPD is currently sitting at number 15 in the group that I've surveyed. And this group contains membership from all of our surrounding counties, as well as Salt Lake County. So it's a pretty good snapshot of where the market is. On the entry level, you can see the University of Utah PD is currently leading the pack at 3,650. To get to that point, we would need a 17% increase in that rank. With our market philosophy being number 3, or to be number 3 in the market, I've put what that looks like down here at the bottom. So a 4% increase in the entry level rank would get us to number 3 in the market. That would take us to 34.30 an hour, and would get us to that number 3 position. For the topped out officers, those at the top of the range, UPD is currently at number 12 in that group. And to get us into that 3rd position would take a 9% increase to get us there. There's a couple of outliers in this. I just wanted to point out Woods Cross and Park City are well above everyone else at this point. They've both made significant changes to their pay structure. And so they're about $10 an hour almost over the rest of the pack. And so that kind of skews these numbers just a little bit, but it's reality. It's part of our market. So I just wanted to point that out. The other thing that you need to be aware of is with Woods Cross and Park City, that top range is what they call either a master officer or a senior officer. So for those departments to get to that range, there's hoops that those individuals would have to jump through. It's not just time and grade. They actually have, you know, requirements with education or specialty assignments or things like that in order to get to that point. So that's a factor as well. Let's see. So for the maximum range, again, take a 9%. For the sergeant range, just gonna move over here a little bit so everyone can see this. We're currently at number 9 in the surveyed departments. To get us to that number 3 position in the sergeant rank would take a 6% increase. Lieutenants were at number 8, and to get to the number 3 would take a 5% increase. I left the captain in here, even though we don't have anyone currently in the captain rank, just to give you an idea of what that looks like. And then our deputy chiefs, we're sitting at number 5 in the surveyed departments, and to get us to the number 3 would take a 7% increase. So that's pretty much where we're at. Presented this, there's a lot more information that I presented to the Benefits and Compensation Committee related to some of the incentives. I've been looking at this also as I've been going through this wage study, or what are departments doing to incentivize recruitment, to incentivize retention, all of those things. And so this second page of this sheet has some of those things like lateral pay, lateral hiring bonuses, retention bonuses, master officer programs that I mentioned before, shift differentials, parental leave, pay scale, you know, how many steps are in their pay scale. So some departments are an 8-step scale, so they top out faster than we do. That's what that's about. 401k matching, just all of those types of incentives. So that information is there in the sheet as well. I'm happy to share this with you in a digital format. If you'd like, it has a little more detail that way. You can look at the comments that I've put in to the sheet that way. But it's very interesting. I think we're doing relatively well in that regard. I think there's some things that we could maybe look at that don't have a significant cost impact. And then some things that we probably need to look at that will have a cost impact. I think shift differentials in a master officer program for us would be a very good move. Obviously, that would cost some money to implement those. So anyway, that's kind of the snapshot of this. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds here, but are there any questions related to this?
Do we have any idea? I know it's kind of early, but what is the trending with what we can anticipate for, you know, CPI or COLAs, or is it, are we getting any kind of information on that, or is it way too early?
You know, it's probably a little early, but I think, I know the Salt Lake County just went through their budget cycle, and Sheriff presented her budget. I think she asked for a 4% cost of living across the board. And I think that's probably about where we need to be, is a 4 to 5% to stay competitive in this market. You know, obviously there's those outliers. We'll probably never catch those people in my lifetime. Those, you know, Park Cities and Woods Cross departments, but in the larger market, you know, take out the outliers. We're not doing too badly, but we need to stay competitive. And so I think to answer your question, at least a 4%, probably a 5% would be what I would
Market.
recommend.
But then we'll have COLAs on top of that too.
That is the COLA, is what I'm
Oh,
suggesting.
that's an inflationary adjustment?
Correct. And so that would be for the civilian side of the house as well. I don't have data on the civilian side of the house. It's a much more complicated process to get that data, to get an apples to apples comparison for civilians. You really have to dive into job descriptions and drill deeply into what those positions are actually doing. But again, you know, I would recommend that 5% at a cost of living so that it affects the entire department, not just the sworn side of the house. If you wanted to look at targeted markets for some of those, like our entry level where we're lagging a little bit, we could do that.
Well, I think, and I know this is way too early to get into that, but you know, the challenge we'll face as a board when you start, you know, you've got the COLAs across the board, but when you start to look at these market positions and you
Sure.
want to make adjustments there, if you want to become competitive at the entry level, which from a financial impact is going to be pretty minimal because you don't bring that many new people on board, right? But when you make, if you just want to make a adjustment there, then you get compression.
Right.
You almost have to make it across the board. So yeah, that becomes a challenge.
Yeah.
But yeah, 4 or 5%, that's a big number for inflation. And then we've got the market piece that we're going to have to look at on top of that. So it'll be an interesting
It will.
budget season.
You know, everybody's feeling the pinch of inflation. I know I am personally, I'm sure all of you are. And that just translates into what we're looking at here. So.
Yeah.
I have a question. Did you do a market increase average of all ranks?
I have not done that. I'm happy to do it.
Just trying to do it.
Okay,
So
yeah, I'll put that together.
averages across all ranks, just the market adjustment.
Right.
And then I assume if we added a COLA prior to that, that makes those market adjustments less if we get a more surgical approach and do rank by rank after
Right.
a COLA. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and this, again, it's pretty early in our budget cycle. I just wanted to get this information to you so you know kind of where we're at. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Chief Mazuryn. Donations, we can do surplus resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, as always, we're very grateful for those that have been generous with us and made donations. There's 3 of them. First one from our friend Jonathan Thorne for $200 for the Halloween party. And the second one and third one, first is the Magna Town Council for the Sub for Santa and Magna for $2,500, and the third is from the Magna Community Council for $3,000 for the Sub for Santa in Magna. So we submit those to you with appreciation and gratitude from those donors.
Thank you.
Make a motion to approve the donations.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Approval of surplus resolution.
Yes, sir. So our surplus resolution, very simply, you'll see in our packet, there's only 3 vehicles this go around. And we submit that to you with thanks to our fleet folks who've worked really hard this year. As you know, with the reorganization and transfer, that was a lot of vehicles to move around, and they've been out ordering new vehicles and to replace the ones we need to. And so these are vehicles that we need to send to surplus.
Thank you. Can we have a motion to approve this resolution?
Mr. Chair, Jeff Solstrom, I move to approve resolution 24-11-01 to approve the disposition of specific.
Second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to point out upcoming UPD meetings. The UPD Finance Committee meeting will take place Wednesday, December 11th, 8 a.m. here in the Mill Creek building. The UPD board meeting, the next board meeting is December 19th, 9 a.m. in this chamber. UPD board meeting in January will be on the 16th, also here in Mill Creek. Next, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the October 17th, 2024 UPD board minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. Okay, Harry, do we have a need for a closed session today? So we we'll want to do a roll call vote for the closed session. And I made an error at the beginning. We needed a roll call vote for to see that we had a quorum today, which we do. I'd like to call for a roll call vote for the closed session.
So, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to go to closed session pursuant to Utah Code. Can't remember the section now, 502 something, but anyway, to discuss the purchase, exchange, or lease of real property.
Second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
We need a roll.
I need a roll call on this one.
Need a roll call, please.
Director Brems,
Aye.
Director Cardenas,
Aye.
Director Daly,
Aye.
Director Glover,
Aye.
Director Keegley,
Aye.
Director Olson,
Aye.
Director Peterson,
Aye.
Director Prokopis,
Aye.
Director Silvestrini.
Aye.
That's unanimous. We will move into a closed session.
Mr. Chair, if we can, before we do that, while everybody's still in the room, I know this at the end and I may be a little bit out of order, but I just want to say, I know the circumstances of Mayor Stevenson's resignation are unfortunate, but I want to just thank him for the work that he did as chair of this organization to navigate us through the separation with the sheriff, and even before that, lobbying the legislature with respect to not passing the bill that required the separation. And Mayor Stevenson made a significant and meaningful contribution to this organization. I just want to thank him for that.
Second that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.